In this video, we're taking a look at Go Collect's hottest comics for the week of April 28th. Now that the Disney MCU is on pause, we got Star Wars to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swagglehaus. And in this video, we're taking a look at Go Collect's hottest comics for the week of April 28th. Now, for those who don't know, Go Collect puts out a weekly article that analyzes the hottest selling comic books based on movement and eBay sales data. So always really fun to take a look at this list with you guys week to week and see what's trending in the market. But before I get into the books, if you guys could drop me a like or a comment or a subscribe if you're enjoying the content, help support the channel, do one of those things and hook me up. Also, a little bit of other housekeeping. I am still currently doing my 5,000 subscriber giveaway. At the time of the recording of this video, we're in that 4,800 mark. We're on our way, getting pretty close. But if you guys have not signed up yet for the contest, please navigate over to that video. I will drop a link in the description or annotation and you guys will find it. And sign up if you want to get a chance to win one of the books, because hey, one of the books I'm giving away is actually one of the books on this list that we have here today. Also, in other news, I was on Jerno's Comics and Pop Culture this last Friday night. He does a live stream every Friday, and I made a guest appearance, and that VOD exists on his channel. So if you want to go check me out on his VOD, definitely navigate over to his channel. He does great YouTube comic book content, and if you guys don't know who he is, I definitely recommend that you go check him out. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the books for today. And of course, this article is always written by Matt Tuck, great contributor to Go Collect. I will put a link in the description. And if you guys want to do further reading, I highly recommend you click the link and check it out. But I will break down the books for you today. So let's jump right into the article here. And like I said at the top, this is hottest comics for the week of April 28th. And as I like to do every Monday, I always start here at the bottom and we work our way up to, save the best for last, so to speak. All right, so coming in here at the 5th spot is Mark Spector Moon Knight, number 57, up 932 spots. And what is the significance of this? Well, there actually is no specific significance outside of the fact that this just has an amazing team up of Spider-Man and Moon Knight, and also is a homage to sort of the classic Todd McFarlane pose there you see Spider-Man doing on the cover. And this was one of those books that came out in the 90s, and who really knows why specifically this book has heated up recently, but the speculation would be that, everyone is currently super excited about Moon Knight. Of course, we're getting Moon Knight next year on Disney Plus. All of the Moon Knight books, his first appearance, second appearance, anything that touches Moon Knight has really, really heated up. And this book right here being a super, super cool kind of 90s nostalgic, beautiful cover, very dynamic, a team up of Moon Knight and, the Spider-Man, Peter Parker, which is always going to be a popular thing for people to want to get. This one just seems like it's kind of blown up recently. And for that reason, it has made its way onto the number 5 spot. And I can kind of understand that because, if you just want to own something that has a very, very cool Moon Knight cover, classic sort of Todd McFarlane pose right there. And you think that, when we get Moon Knight, maybe we're going to get some interaction with the Tom Holland Spider-Man, with Moon Knight on Disney Plus. I mean, that would be really cool. They certainly have had a long history of interacting together within comic books. So it would be cool to see if Peter Parker does show up in the Moon Knight show. And if he does, certainly covers like this will definitely get a spike in the market. And maybe that's why people are wanting to get their hands on them in this current week. But as we dig into the numbers here, you'll see there is a 9.8 that's sold on the census, fair market value at around $150. And you can see here 9.6 and 9.4s all here sales in April, hovering around that $100 mark. So the 5th hottest book of the week is Mark Spector Moon Knight, number 57. All right, let's go on now to the next book. And the next book here is a very, very cool one. Very obvious as to why this one is hot. This is Captain America 354, up 937 spots. And what is the significance of this? Well, this is the first appearance of John Walker as the U.S. agent. Now, spoilers in the chat. In case you hadn't seen the last episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, at the very end of the episode, it was revealed that John Walker is going to now, did don the U.S. agent outfit, and presumably from here on out in the MCU, he will be playing the character, the U.S. agent. And this is the comic book that specific moment alludes to. So this is the one, Captain America 354. This one, after that last and final episode, blew up kind of overnight. I mean, this is one that people had been speculating on before the show even started. Even during the show, there was some movement with this one, but, it never really took that next jump in terms of its level. But right when we got that reveal, this book became a overnight sensation in terms of volume of sales. So obviously here in Go Collect's article, they were able to track that data too, and we see Captain America 354 as the 4th hottest comic book. And this is actually one of the ones I alluded to my 5K giveaway that I'm doing. This is actually one of the books that I'm offering up in my giveaway. So, definitely just to plug myself again, if you guys want to get a chance to win this book, definitely navigate over to that video. But this one is a very, very cool one. And this is one that I think is really interesting, even in comparison to some of the other Falcon and Winter Soldier books like Captain America 323 or even the first appearance of Contessa Fontaine. This was a book that I sort of always had my eye on as being like, maybe this will be, of all of the books that come out of the show, one of the most long-lasting books in terms of its popularity, because it feels like what they were always trying to build towards was John Walker being U.S. Agent, and U.S. Agent becomes his character that will run through Marvel, or did run through Marvel Comics for many, many years after that. So for that reason, it was always my suspicion that even though we were getting John Walker and Captain America, and there were books that kind of represented that, Captain America 333, I think it is, those books were all great and all hot and everything like that. But this one feels like it has the most legs going on into other properties in the future. It feels like John Walker is going to be U.S. Agent throughout the rest of the MCU's history. And so for that reason, this is a book that is always going to, in my opinion, hold some kind of relevance as it pertains to the John Walker character. And for that reason, I think it's always a really, really cool book. And, I always love, personally, I don't know about you guys, but I love it when there's covers where the character is interacting with the title. You see him there punching the America. There's other character cover titles where, actually in the last one here, I didn't even mention, but, it looks like the Spider-Man is crashing through the title there. But, we've had Incredible Hulk pull the title apart with the Todd McFarlane stuff. So, I always love books that interact with the title there. But let's dig into the numbers here, and you can see a 9.8 selling here on the census for $375 back in March. Now, I think that Go Collect is way behind the sales on this one, because I do believe that I've seen this book go for like $600-700 in the 9.8s as of recently, but you can see they haven't updated their April numbers yet. Here they say the 9.6 is $290, 9.4 is $180, sales in April. That could be totally possible. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but what I do know is that these high-grade CGCs of this book have been flying, and the numbers have been really, really impressive. So for that reason, Captain America 354, second hottest book or fourth hottest book of the week. All right, let's move on now to the third hottest book here. And the third hottest book is Star Wars number 41, up 942 spots. And what is the significance of this? Well, this is actually what is considered the first brief appearance of Yoda in comic books. Now, I'm not really sure because, again, I don't own this comic book. I'm not really sure why it's qualified as a brief appearance as opposed to a cameo appearance. I don't know if that means that Yoda is not necessarily on the last page. Perhaps Yoda shows up earlier in the comic book. Maybe if you guys have read the story, or you're out there and you own this comic book, could you drop me a comment and explain to me what Yoda's brief quote-unquote appearance is? Because in comic books here, Star Wars number 42, which of course has the very famous Boba Fett cover, that one has always sort of been like one of the hot books in the space that people have chased, because that was not only the first appearance of Boba Fett, but it was also the first appearance of Yoda in comic books. Well, I guess number 41, the one right before it, this particular book has a brief appearance of Yoda, and for that reason, people are starting to, jump on this book. They want to get their hands on this. Like perhaps this is going to be a Incredible Hulk 180, 181 situation. But who really knows where that is going to go with this book. But for now, it is definitely a hot book. And one of the things I think I've noticed here in this article, as we'll get to like the hottest book later on, is, now that we kind of have the Disney MCU on pause, we're kind of going into now back into Star Wars, where we're getting the Bad Batch later this week. So it feels like maybe some of the Star Wars fervor is we're drumming that up again. And so people are excited to get back onto the Star Wars hype train. And, Yoda has played a role in the current High Republic comic book storyline. So for that reason, maybe, people are wanting to jump on Star Wars number 41 and get their hands on his brief appearance. And as we dig into the numbers here, you'll see there is a 9.8 that sold for $875 fair market value back in March. Be interested to see what that means for April sales, if that has hit the $1,000 mark yet. There's some 9.6, 250, 9.4, 220. So Definitely not necessarily a cheap book at all. I mean, it is Yoda, one of the all-time greatest Star Wars characters. If this is his brief appearance, maybe later in the annals of comic book collecting, we'll recognize this as his first appearance. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where this book goes. All right, let's move on now to the second hottest book of the week, and this one is a really cool one. This is Thunderbolts #1, up 974 spots. And what is the significance of this? Well, this is the first ongoing series of the team known as the Thunderbolts. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware that there's a lot of speculation right now that we are going to get the Thunderbolts in the MCU. I mean, if you watch Falcon and Winter Soldier and you know about the comic books, certainly you would be able to feel that sense that in some way we're building towards it. Even though we didn't actually get the reveal in Falcon and Winter Soldier in any kind of way, it just feels like that's how the pieces are falling, that we're building towards the Thunderbolts. So for that reason, the first appearance of the Thunderbolts, which is Incredible Hulk 439, excuse me, I think that's right, 439, 437. You guys know the book. Incredible Hulk, one of his books in the 400s is the first appearance of the team known as the Thunderbolts, and they would go, and that book in particular has absolutely exploded. I mean, even though we haven't got the reveal of the Thunderbolts, I mean, that is not a cheap book to come by because it's effectively is the worst kept secret in the comic book speculation market. Everybody who is speccing on these books wants to get their hands on that book, the Thunderbolts appearance. So for that reason, it feels like, when people can't get that first appearance, what do? They move on to sort of like, the tertiary books. And one book right here, which you see in front of you, is Thunderbolts #1. They would go on to have their ongoing series. And I think this is a really smart play, especially if you're getting this for Spec, because when we do get the Thunderbolts into the MCU, I mean, there you see the Thunderbolts in the title, right there on the cover. You see that this is their #1 issue. And I think this is definitely going to be a book that heats up, especially if we start to get, if the Thunderbolts get their own TV show, or maybe they get their own movie or something of that sort. I mean, it feels like this is a book that would absolutely heat up as a result of that. So I think that this is for sure a big Spec play right now in the market, and that's one of the reasons that this book has got so hot recently. And as you can see here, a 9.8 back in April, selling around the $160 range. So, definitely a affordable price. Anytime you're getting a CGC slab hovering around that $100 range, I feel like that's a pretty good deal overall. So Thunderbolts #1, definitely an interesting book, and something that I can completely understand why the market is starting to hop on this, in the wake of Falcon and Winter Soldier, and in the anticipation of perhaps a reveal of the Thunderbolts team in the Black Widow movie. All right, let's go on now to the last book here, and this is the hottest book of the week, and that is Star Wars #2, up 980 spots. And what is the significance of this? Well, this is the first appearance of Obi-Wan Kenobi, the first appearance of Han Solo, the first appearance of Chewbacca in comic book form. And that's right, Star Wars #2. This has been a super hot book recently, especially, ever since we got the Mandalorian TV show and the Star Wars books have really, really heated up. This particular issue, being that it's the first appearance of all the characters I mentioned, has been a really, really popular one. It feels like Star Wars #1, Star Wars #2, and Star Wars #42 have been sort of the three books that people have chased the most. And that makes a lot of sense to me, because we know that we're getting a lot of Star Wars properties coming up. And as it pertains to this book, there's been a lot of talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series that is coming out. Ewan McGregor has had a lot of interviews where he's sort of like talking about it, alluding to it. So, again, the hype is building. Everyone is excited about this. The anticipation is conjuring up a lot of that excitement. So because of that, people want to get their hands on Obi-Wan Kenobi's first appearance, and that is here in Star Wars #2. And of course, this is really interesting. This is kind of like a tangential discussion about it. It's very interesting to me that we the comic book collecting community are giving these Star Wars books the attention right now, being that, like, even though these characters existed outside of comic books, we still feel like their first appearance within the medium of comic book collecting is something that we still value. Like, we still place a lot of emotional value and a lot of monetary value onto these books, even though their appearances have occurred in other things. Like, you could always get the first time Obi-Wan was on a collector cup, that existed before the comic book did. But for that reason, it still is really, really interesting that we love these books. And you'll see here on the numbers that we certainly love them, because here on the census, you can see there is a 9.8 that sold for pushing that $4,000 mark back in March. I mean, $4,000 for this book, that is absolutely crazy. So definitely this book is exploding. You see a 9.6 here, a stone's throw away from that $1,000 range. 9.4, 525, nothing to sneeze at. But Star Wars #2, definitely a hot book, and one that I think is going to stay hot, because we're going to continue to get Star Wars on Disney Plus for many years to come. I mean, you saw the reveal of the slate that they had on Disney Investor Day, and it feels like, Star Wars, like Marvel, is not going to slow down anytime soon. And for that reason, Star Wars #2 is the hottest book of the week of April 28th. Anyways, that is all I have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys own any of these books? What do you think about like the Star Wars stuff? Have you guys been hunting Star Wars? I don't own any Star Wars books. I mean, I feel like I kind of missed the boat on that one, but that's okay. I'll just enjoy the properties for what they are, and I won't worry about the speculation that relates to it. But that is all I have for this video. Drop me a like, comment, or subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Be sure to navigate over to my 5,000 subscriber giveaway if you want a chance to win one of the hot books of this week, which is Captain America 354. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.